What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, coming at you from the TA in Hillsboro, Texas. I'm going to tell you, this is a nice TA. If you ever happen to be in the area, stop by. Very new facilities. I like it a lot. You know, I've been going back and forth with a TNT student at Prime who's considering going lease, but he's a little worried about it. And, you know, he's just trying to figure out if that's something that he wants to do. And he's been talking to somebody that is kind of discouraging him from going lease. And I'm not sure if he got the answer from me that he was looking for, but I kind of wanted to bring it up because I think it's a little bit applicable. And this could be trucking, it could be, you know, a lot of different things in life. But when you plan on doing something or tell somebody you're going to do something and somebody discourages you from it, there's usually two reasons why. And one is they're trying to put their fear on you. And a lot of times this is for the wrong reasons. A lot of times there's no malice involved. You know, it could be like me as a parent or something, and my kid saying, you know, he wants to run away with the circus or something like that. You know, I may be showing a little bit of concern or saying it's a stupid idea or whatever, but really I'm putting my fear on him. So that's a different situation. But a lot of times what you have is a situation where if somebody's failed at something, it's kind of hard to see somebody succeed at the thing that they failed at. And I think this might be kind of the situation that's going on here. And my advice to him wasn't to go lease or go company or whatever it was. My goal was to follow your heart. You know, the worst thing that can happen either way, you know, if you go company for a while and you get done going company for a while and then you go lease and then you feel like you wasted all that time as a company driver, that's really all that you lost. You know what I mean? I mean, I feel that way about taking so long with the progression I've been making at Prime. I should have jumped right out of the box doing a lease purchase at Prime, but what did I lose? You know, I might have lost 5 months of my life not doing it a little bit sooner. So that's not that big of a deal. If you go lease at Prime and it doesn't work out, then you just end up going company. You know, there's nothing wrong with failing in life. You know, I've failed so many times in life that, you know, I mean, I could probably count the major times I've failed, but without failure, you do not have growth, you know? The first time I went into the mortgage business, I failed. Really what that was a setup for the second time I went in, because then I knew, okay, well, you know what? I got to have shit a little bit more tightened up. I need to have a little bit more money set aside. I need to kind of come in with a little bit of a stronger core of sales, you know, things like that. So in between the time that I failed and got back into it, it was probably about a good year. And during that year, I was reading different books. You know, YouTube wasn't big back then, but I was... Actually, YouTube may not even been around. What am I talking about? But I was reading different books on sales, you know, learning about mortgages, talking to mortgage brokers, things like that. Then the next time I went in, boom, I actually went into banking. But that whole career was about a 20-something year career. So the failure actually set me up to be prosperous down the road. When I thought I was good enough to start my own business in mortgages, you know what? I failed at that. And you know what I learned out of that? Was actually the basis for everything that I do now. So there's nothing wrong with failing. You know, when I went into this lease with Prime, if you go back to my videos way back to the beginning, I even mentioned I'm not going down with this ship. If for some reason it doesn't work out, I'm out. And that's the way I looked at it. And you know, I think a lot of people are more worried about the failure than what actually comes along with the failure. Now, I'm not saying fail at this business and take your family down with you. I think you need to have a decent foundation so you're not, you know, failing like that. But people with the fear of failure are never going to be super successful in whatever that they plan on doing. That's always going to be a limiting factor. People that try to be perfect overthink the process too much. You know, there was a saying, and we used to have all these, you know, motivational speakers come in and talk to us when we were in the mortgage business, and one of the speakers said that your A and B students from high school are working for your C and D students in life. And the reason is C and D students take more of a risk than A and B students do, because A and B students are always trying to be perfect in what they do. You end up getting paralysis by analysis. So I'm not sure if this really helps anybody with their perspective or not. Sometimes this makes more sense in my head than it does when I'm actually saying it. But listen, do not be afraid to be a failure. You know what I'm saying? You know, being afraid to be a failure is why a lot of people aren't, you know, take forever to learn how to back. You know, if we're going to put it into trucking, you know. I remember when I was with my trainer, we'd be driving around, and, you know, just sometimes there was just too many people around, and I didn't want to back because I didn't want everybody looking at me and struggling and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? Once you get over that, and then you just take every opportunity that you can to not be perfect, the faster you become perfect. So my advice to anybody, listen, follow your heart. Do what you need to do. Failure is always an option, but nobody's gonna, I mean, you might die in trucking, but nobody's gonna die from failing, at least at Prime or any other company. Nobody's gonna fail, or nobody's gonna die becoming an owner-operator and failing at that. Nobody's gonna die going company and failing at that. So don't always rely on what other people are telling you or the advice people are telling you. My suggestion would be maybe not ask as much. I think a lot of times people ask advice from people that they know the answer before they even ask the question. You know, there's certain people I could ask a question and I already know what the answer is going to be. Why am I even going to ask the question? You know what I'm saying? So people are asking me, what do I think about the Prime lease, that have been watching my videos from day one. They know what I feel about it. So why even, you know, you might be looking for a little bit too much affirmation or something from me or something, but as always, you know, I get a little deep in these videos and I forget what the actual point is. But listen, people are going to put their fear on you. That's the one thing I want to say. Do not let people put their fear on you. And that's something that I'm trying to become better at myself. Like I said, it's not always malicious. Sometimes it's, you know, you feel you're doing, or you feel you're giving the best advice to some people, when in actuality you might not be. And there are going to be people that want to see you fail, either because they don't like you or because they don't want you to succeed at something that they didn't succeed at. So anyway, I hope that made some sense. The sun's going down, so I'm going to cut this off, but I do appreciate you guys stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. Comment, subscribe, and I'm out.